Hello friends, it's Lisa and welcome to another weekly vlog, a new weekly reading vlog. I have no idea what I'm going to be getting up to this week, what I'm going to end up reading later on in the week, because I do have a readathon that I'm participating in next week. It is the Aurelium Magical Readathon. There's like a week-long readathon happening next week. So I know I'm going to be following a kind of TBR next week. So this week I'm just going to see what I end up reading, what ends up happening, because I really have no plan. My only plan for the start of this week is to finish the books that I'm already in the middle of. I did a 24-hour readathon last week and, as predicted, have not picked up the book that I was reading since that readathon. I even said in that vlog, like, I stopped in the middle of a chapter at the end of that 24-hour readathon. I was like, I'll at least finish that chapter. No, I haven't. But the book that I started in that 24-hour readathon was Love and Olives by Jenna Evans Welch. I'm still on page 240. I literally have not picked this up since I finished that readathon. So I would like to finish this. I don't think it's going to take me very long. I figured I had like 160 pages left of this book, so that's not going to take me very long at all. So I definitely want to read some of this. I kind of didn't have much time to read this past weekend, so I'm definitely in the mood to do some reading, so probably will be reading this later on. I have been making progress though in my audiobook. I've been listening to The Heart Principle by Helen Huang, and this is the third and final book in the Kiss Quotient companion series. I think it's the final book, I'm pretty sure it's the final book in that trilogy, but I'm 77% of the way through that book. I have just over 2 hours left of that audiobook, so I honestly might finish that today as well, because I am listening to it on 2x speed, so I only have an hour left of that. So I think that's going to be the plan for the start of the week. I have no idea what I'm going to end up reading later on, but only time will tell. I will take you along and we will see what I end up reading, what I end up getting up to this week. Well, good morning. It's not really morning anymore. It is 12:12. Oh, 12:12. That's kind of fun. It is noontime though. But I started my day with a nice smoothie bowl, and even though it was not the most aesthetic of smoothie bowls, it was delish. And that just put me in such a good mood. I feel like every day I have a smoothie, it's a good day. It's the little things. But I wanted to give some updates because I actually finished the book last night. I finished listening to the audiobook for The Heart Principle, and I ended up giving that 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It actually is my favorite, I think, out of that trilogy. And I totally understand why it's people's favorite of the three or people's least favorite of the three, because it's very different from the first two. The tone of The Heart Principle is definitely a lot more serious, a lot more heavy, a lot more sad than the first two. The first two are definitely just more lighthearted, fun, rom-com kind of vibes, whereas The Heart Principle is definitely not quite like that. It's definitely a lot more sad, like I said, and also just I feel like the romance in this one even sometimes takes a backseat to the kind of problems that our main character Anna is facing, and Quan as well, but mostly Anna. So it's interesting the kind of difference and me liking it more than the other two. I think if I had gone into The Heart Principle not knowing that it was pretty different and thinking I was going to be getting a similar rom-com kind of vibe, I think I might have been disappointed. I don't think I would have been prepared for the more sad, heavier things that happen in The Heart Principle, because I think I would have just been expecting something similar to the first two. So I'm really glad that I knew that that was what this book was about, because I think I went into it knowing that, so I was able to enjoy it a lot more. I definitely think there were certain aspects of Anna and the things that she was dealing with, not everything, but there were definitely certain things that I could relate to, and there were moments where I would just something would happen or she would think something and I would just have to sit there and go, okay, ow, that hurt. So yeah, there were definitely things I could relate to, but also just seeing Anna grow as a character throughout this book was really, really great to see, and seeing her learn how to like stand up for herself and do things for herself instead of always for other people was really great to see. And also just the romance. Quan is the only man ever. I'm obsessed with him. I just absolutely loved seeing their romance as well and seeing more of Quan, because I feel like he was always a highlight of the other books for me, like when he would show up. So it was really cool to get like a whole story about him and his relationship. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, my favorite of the three. I still really did like the Kiss Quotient. I think they're just very different because the Kiss Quotient is more like fun rom-com kind of vibes and this one is more sad. But I still really liked both of them. The Bride Test was very fine, but I definitely liked The Heart Principle the most. And I'm very happy that I finished that trilogy as well. I started and finished a trilogy all within like the span of a couple months. I don't know what happened here, but like, good for me. And speaking of finishing series and trilogies, I did read a little bit more of Love and Olives last night before going to sleep. I read like a chapter and a half. I finished the chapter that I stopped in the middle of when my 24-hour readathon ended, and then also read like another chapter. So I'm now on chapter 19, page 375. So I have a feeling if I just like sit down and actually read today, I could definitely finish this. I kind of had multiple times yesterday where I went, okay, I'm gonna read now, and then I would find something else to do. So clearly I just wasn't in the mood to read, so I wasn't forcing it, but I do kind of want to finish this up today, so I might do that later. So yeah, still really enjoying it. It's been fun like looking up the places that they go or mention in this book and like seeing what they're seeing, and also it just makes me want to go here so bad. I know I've said that like 50 times when talking about this book, but I just want to be someplace warm that doesn't have snow on the ground. That's all I want right now. But what was really kind of cool when I was looking up places that they go to in this book, well, first of all, let's back up a minute. This book is following this girl who goes to Greece and is kind of reconnecting with her dad for the first time in like 10 years. It's like the first time she's seen him in 10 years. And he and his friend in Santorini own a bookstore. So obviously I had like in my head what I pictured the bookstore to kind of look like. And yesterday I looked up like bookstores in Santorini just to like see what they might be seeing, see what might be similar to what I was picturing or whatever. And I discovered that the bookstore in this book actually exists. It's called Atlantis Books. And I thought that the author just like made that up for this book because the dad is really like into like finding evidence of the lost city of Atlantis. So I thought she just made that up because the name is like too perfect. But it's a real bookstore. And I'm like, now I need to know how this author like came up with the plot of this book. Like, did she find that bookstore? Did she go to Greece, or was she just like Google searching like I was and discover this bookstore? Is that how she got the idea to include Atlantis? Like, how did this come about? I'm so curious now, so I'm definitely gonna have to do some research into how this book kind of came into existence. But it was really cool to actually like see the bookstore that they're describing in the book and that it's like a real place. So yeah, it's been really cool to just like see the different places that they're seeing, look at pictures of the bookstore that they're in. Like, it's just been really cool to actually see what they're seeing. But yeah, I'm still really enjoying it. Like, I feel like I've said many times about this book and like this series is it's nothing like groundbreaking. It's just like a cute, fun, fluffy YA contemporary moment. It's nothing like groundbreaking, like I said. But I think I kind of figured out last night the reason why I like these is it feels very nostalgic. Even though I'm reading these books for the first time in the past couple of years, it does feel oddly nostalgic in a way because YA contemporary used to be like my thing in like middle school and like early high school. Those used to be the books that I would read like all the time. So it's kind of fun reading a YA contemporary that feels like something I would have read then and enjoyed. So it feels oddly nostalgic, and I don't know if that makes any sense because I haven't read this book before, but it's very much in a genre that I used to read a lot. I don't know, but I'm loving it. It's a great time. I mean, loving it maybe is a stretch, but I'm having a good time. Like, there's no complaints. I'm just, you know, going along. It's nothing, like I said, groundbreaking, but I'm having a good time reading it, so hopefully we'll be finishing this up today. So yeah, definitely gonna want to do some reading and maybe some other things as well, just kind of to distract myself because I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. And I know the closer we get to tomorrow, I'm gonna get more and more anxious about it. So I'm gonna be doing the most to distract myself and keep my mind off of the fact that I'm going to the doctor's tomorrow. So probably will mean that I will do some reading, maybe finish this book. I also kind of want to do a journal spread for the magical readathon that's happening next week, so I might do that today as well. That might be a good thing to distract myself with as well, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I just wanted to give some updates on everything that I was reading, and yeah, that's it. Hopefully I can spend the day distracting myself so I don't get too anxious. Okay, it has been many hours since my last update, but I wanted to quickly pop on because I finished Love and Olives and I really liked this. I think this may be my favorite out of the whole trilogy. I don't know. I really did like Love and Gelato. Love and Luck definitely was my least favorite, but I still liked that one. But this one actually like made me emotional, made me cry a little bit, like made me tear up at least. And I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Loved the setting. I think Theo, the like male love interest in this book, was so precious, and I just liked the kind of relationship between Olive and her father and what it kind of develops in this book. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, these books aren't groundbreaking, but for what it is, I think it's good. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it's probably gonna be either 4 or 4.5 stars. I think I gave Love and Gelato 4.5, so I'll probably do the same for this. I don't think it's quite 5-star material, but I did really, really enjoy it. And also, something I wanted to mention, the author in the acknowledgements, if I can flip to the correct page, she thanks Atlantis Books and also says that they show her like the hidden bunk where in this book, the main character Olive and Theo sleep. It's in the bookshop. It's like above the bookshop. And so she must have actually been there and been shown all of these things, and that's really cool. I wonder if like that's where she got the idea for the book, or if she got it like beforehand and just happened to find this bookstore. I don't know. I still would love to know more about that process for her, but it is really cool that she actually went there and that they showed her all of these things and secrets from that bookstore. She also gives a lot of like the sources that she looked at when trying to find like information on Atlantis and all of the theories about it being real and everything. So I may need to check some of those out because now I'm very interested. So yeah, overall, very fun, very cute. I think this, like I said, might be my favorite of the trilogy. I did like Love and Gelato a lot, so I think that them being the same rating is probably fair. So I'll probably give it a 4.5 star. But yeah, really enjoyed it. I think if you're looking for a really easy, fluffy YA contemporary that's, you know, you kind of know what to expect going into it. If you're in the mood for that, I'd recommend them. But yeah, definitely happy that I finished this, and that means another series has been finished. So very excited about that. Well, hello. I don't know if you can tell. I feel like my voice sounds kind of funny to me, so maybe you can hear it, but I'm definitely not feeling super great. I feel like I'm just getting a cold, but also the last time I said that, it was COVID. So I'm a little stressed, but yesterday I kind of started getting a sore throat and it's already like starting to feel better today. So fingers crossed it's just a cold. I do think we have some like at-home COVID tests, so I might take one of those just for some like peace of mind. But yeah, not feeling great, but I am feeling like a little bit better today, I feel like. So there's that. Like yesterday I did not want to vlog anything because I just felt pretty like blah, but I'm feeling a bit better today, so hopefully that's a good sign. But yesterday, because I wasn't feeling well, I started watching Bridgerton. Normally when I'm sick, I just want to watch something because it takes like the least amount of effort on my part, so I decided to watch Bridgerton, which is a bit of a plot twist because I really hated the book. I thought the book was fine up until a certain point where it just kind of ruined the whole thing for me, so I'm curious to see how the show handles that one thing that I really hated. I've heard it's like slightly different, so I'm curious to see how it goes. So far, I'm liking the show. I mean, I didn't dislike the book up until that point, so I think the show is fine so far. And I really like some of the side characters. I feel like I liked the side characters in the book, but I just feel like we're seeing a little bit more of them and like their personalities in the show. So like Eloise, love her, a queen. I also really love Penelope too. Like in their friendship, Eloise and Penelope is just so precious. So I really like that. Also, like they're using like covers of modern music for like the classical music that's playing in a lot of these scenes, which was very jarring the first time it happened because they started playing like a classical rendition of Thank You Next by Ariana Grande, and it took me a minute to recognize the song. I was like, why do I know this song? Like, it was very strange to hear a modern song in like a historical time period. Obviously, it's like a classical version, but it was just very strange. But I looked up the different ones that they have in the show, and there is Wildest Dreams by Miss Swift. At some point in the show, there's a classical version of that, so I'm very excited to hear that. So yeah, started watching that. So far, so good, I suppose. And there's only 8 episodes, so I'm probably gonna finish it quickly. And the second season comes out, I think, later in March, like March, I think it's the 25th. So I'm probably gonna watch that when that comes out. I don't think I'm gonna continue on reading the books just because I really didn't like the first one. I've heard that some of the other books get better, but I don't know. I don't know if I have an interest in actually reading the books. Like, I'm okay with just watching the show adaptation of it, which I know is probably like illegal for me to say as a reader, but oh well. So yeah, started watching that. Probably will watch more today because I'm just not feeling my best. But I also think I want to do some reading today. I got some very exciting mail yesterday, a very Saba Tahir themed mail day. And I honestly just want to pick these up right now. So I did get the second Ember in the Ashes prequel graphic novel. This is A Spark Within the Forge, and this one is following Laya and her brother. And I'm really excited about this. I read the first one that came out I think it came out in 2020, and I read it at the beginning of last year, and I really loved it. I just will simply take any bit of crumbs that Saba Tahir will give me with these characters in this world because I love Ember in the Ashes so much, so it doesn't even matter what it is, I will want to read it. So very excited about this. It's probably going to make me want to just like reread the entire Ember in the Ashes series, which I definitely want to do at some point this year. I just kind of want to marathon the entire series. So I don't know if it's a good idea to read this right now because if it spirals into me rereading the whole series, I really shouldn't be doing that right now because I have other books to read. But I might read this week. I don't know. We'll see. But I also got Saba Tahir's newest release, which is All My Rage, and I'm so excited about this. This is one of my most anticipated releases of the whole year. I put it on my 5-star predictions list for this year, so I'm really, really hopeful that I'm going to love it. A few of my friends had arcs of it, so Therese from Therese's Nook, Andrea from Andrea Reads, and Armine from Armine Reads all had arcs, and they all gave it 5 stars, and I definitely think there's a lot of like, we all like certain things. Like, we all have books that we all like, and I also know like where my taste lines up with like all of them, I feel like. So I'm really hopeful that I'm also going to give this 5 stars, which is why I put it on my 5-star predictions list. But because I did put it on my 5-star predictions for this year, I am doing separate vlogs for those books. And I think what I'm going to do is I had like 8 books in total. So each vlog, I'm going to read like 2 of my 5-star predictions in each vlog and post those throughout the year. And I'm hoping to read another 5-star prediction during the Magical Readathon next week. So hopefully you'll hear my thoughts on this soon. I'm not going to put my thoughts in this vlog because I'm going to put them in my 5-star predictions vlog. But you're not going to have to wait too long to hear my thoughts because I'm hoping to get my first 5-star predictions video up soon. So yeah, I think this is what I'm going to start. I also think I'm going to annotate it. I don't think I'm going to do anything like too in-depth. I think I'm just going to do like quotes or moments that I love and like any sad moments because I feel like this is going to be a very sad book. I might add more things I want to tab as I read, but I think those are the 2 things I'm going to start out with. But yeah, this is what I'm going to be reading next. I knew I was getting it in the mail yesterday, so like 2 days ago when I was trying to pick my next read, I just like refused. Darian and Casey were trying to help me pick my next read, and I was just like, no, I'm getting All My Rage tomorrow. I'm not going to read anything right now because I knew I wanted to read this. So now I have it. Now I can start it. Very excited. So I think that's the plan for today. Read this, watch Bridgerton, maybe take a nap if I can. Just have a very chill, relaxed day because That's what my body wants. Alright, hi. I feel like I haven't vlogged much since my last update. To be fair, yesterday didn't do much of anything. I literally sat in that bed and like didn't move all day basically. I definitely sound sick, but I am feeling much better. My throat doesn't hurt really at all anymore. I'm just kind of congested, so that's super cute. Sorry you have to listen to that. But for some updates, I did do some reading yesterday, not much. I started On My Rage and I'm on page 27, so didn't read that much, to be honest, because when I don't feel well, I don't feel like reading, which is so interesting because I know some people are like, oh, like I'm in bed not feeling well, I'll spend that time reading. For me, when I don't feel well, like I don't want to read, like for some reason, like that just takes too much effort. The thing that I want to do when I don't feel well is just put my eyes onto a screen and not move. That's all I have the energy for. So I didn't do too much reading. I, read a little bit, but definitely got a feel for like the characters and everything, but didn't make it too far. I want to definitely do a lot more reading over the weekend though, because I would like to finish it before next week, before the magical readathon starts. But like I said, I like to kind of watch things instead when I'm not feeling well. So I spent yesterday watching Bridgerton. I've now finished season 1. So I clearly watched it very quickly. I think it was like a good thing to watch while I wasn't feeling well because it was like entertaining and interesting enough, but it was also like really easy to watch. Like it didn't require much brain power, so it was like the perfect thing to keep me like engaged without making me have to use my brain. And thoughts on the show, I definitely felt like the same about Daphne and Simon's relationship as I did with the book, where it was fine until we got to a certain point and I just kind of got disgusted by things happening and I just wasn't really into it. And there definitely were some like other problems with the show as well. But something that I think the show did that was really smart was they definitely gave you a lot more like background and just got you a little bit more invested in like the side characters and the other like Bridgerton siblings, which is smart now because like now I like those side characters and I'm sure other people feel the same. So now in future seasons when we're following those characters, you're gonna want to keep watching. So it's smart for that reason, but I also think like if the show was just like the book and it was mostly just following Daphne and Simon and we weren't really seeing those side characters, I don't think it would have been as interesting. So I really like that they really like expanded upon a lot of the other like siblings and side characters because that was where I was the most invested in the show and felt like actually interested. So yeah, definitely didn't love some things, still don't really care about Daphne and Simon and their relationship and everything that happened there, but I liked a lot of the side characters, so there was still some things that I liked about it. I feel very like neutral on the first season, but I'm excited to see season 2 because we're going to be following a different sibling and the plot looks a little bit more interesting, and I'm just really excited to see what season 2 is all about, especially because I feel like people say that the second book in the series is like one of the best ones. So I'm excited to continue on. I liked the show. There definitely were some things that I didn't like, some problems that I had, but I'm excited to kind of see more of it. And I also just like love Eloise and Colin as well, a precious angel, so excited to see them more in maybe future seasons as well. But yeah, finished watching Bridgerton, and like I said, it was like the perfect thing to watch when I wasn't feeling well. It was just entertaining enough to keep me going, but didn't require me to like have to think too hard. So it was a very easy show to like marathon yesterday while I wasn't feeling super well. But yeah, I'm hoping today will be a little bit more productive. I want to start working on editing this vlog so far. I know I've had a few more chatty bits of this vlog, so I probably am going to start editing this. Maybe do some more reading today. I would like to read more than 27 pages. So I think that might be the plan. But yeah, I'm just happy that I'm feeling much better and like more energized to do more than just like lay in bed I'm sure that will happen at some point today, but I definitely am feeling better, which I'm very excited about.
Are you filming?
No. Oh. I feel like this entire vlog has just been me exposing the fact that I've been alternating between the same 3 sweatshirts all week. It's fine. So it is now Sunday, and I actually think I'm going to wrap up this vlog here. I don't think today is going to be a very exciting day. Probably very similar to yesterday, where all I did was watch YouTube and Gilmore Girls. I would like to work on editing this vlog and also do some reading. I don't know the last time I updated on All My Rage, but I'm now on page 109, so I have done a little bit of reading over the past couple of days, and my nail just scratched on the page, and that was really gross. But I would like to do some more reading today, especially because the Magical Readathon starts tomorrow, and I don't really want to put this like on hold to read my TBR for that and then go back to this. I would just read this for the readathon. I think you're supposed to technically start new books for the readathon. I don't know, but this one didn't count for any of the prompts that I am reading for anyway, so I want to try and get either finish it or close to finishing it today and maybe finish it tomorrow. Just get it done like early on in the week so I can focus on my Magical Readathon TBR. But yeah, honestly, like that's my very exciting plan for today. Editing, reading, watching Gilmore Girls. Like it's not going to be a very exciting day, but if anything does happen, I will continue to film that. But yeah, I think that is going to be all I have to share. So thank you all so much for coming along on this week with me and watching this vlog. And if you want to see how the Magical Readathon works out for me, I will be uploading that probably the week after this goes up. So make sure you stick around for that. I'm very excited for that readathon. I feel like week-long readathons just don't happen that much anymore. Actually, I retract that statement. I feel like they're starting to happen again more often now. Like I feel like we went through a phase for like the past couple of years where month-long readathons were like the thing, and now I feel like I'm starting to see a little bit more like week-long readathons, which I think is like my preference. I think that's like the perfect time for a readathon, because then you're not dedicating a whole entire month to reading specific books as like a mood reader kind of. That's just too much. I just feel like a week long is like the perfect amount of time to have that pressure to read things, but it's not like too long. So I'm really excited for this readathon. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I have a very exciting TBR for next week, so very excited to get into that. But I'm going to leave you here for this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.